What if one tiny molecule could unlock the deep healing sleep your body has been begging for, every single night? Sleepless nights can feel like silent battles, especially as we age. But emerging science reveals a natural amino acid, glycine, may hold the key to reclaiming your rest. If you've been waking up tired, restless, or defeated, this could change everything. Today we uncover how glycine might be your greatest ally in the fight for restful, rejuvenating sleep. If you've ever stared at the ceiling at 2 a.m. wondering, will I ever sleep peacefully again? This message is for you. You are not alone. And more importantly, you are not without hope. Every cell in your body is craving renewal. Every breath you take is a chance to heal. And here, in this community, we believe in waking up to purpose, strength, and clarity. Subscribe now. Because your best days aren't behind you. They're just beginning. And if you need a hand along the way, ask me in the comments. I'm here for you. Glycine is more than a supplement. It's nature's quiet whisper to your overactive mind. As we age, our nervous system can become less resilient, leading to heightened stress at night. But glycine gently activates receptors that reduce anxiety and calm the brain. It doesn't sedate, it harmonizes. Imagine falling asleep not from exhaustion but from peace. As the years go by, our internal systems, the very machinery that once ran effortlessly, begin to show signs of wear. We don't recover from stress as quickly. We don't bounce back from poor sleep as easily, and sometimes it feels like the noise in our minds refuses to dim, no matter how dark the room gets. For many older adults, sleep becomes elusive, not because the body isn't tired, but because the mind refuses to let go. Thoughts swirl, regrets echo, worries about health, family, or simply tomorrow's responsibilities linger in the stillness of the night. And while the world is silent, the mind speaks louder than ever. This is where glycine steps in, not as a sledgehammer to force sleep, but as a gentle hand guiding the mind toward stillness. Glycine is an amino acid, something our bodies naturally produce. But like many things that decline with age, our glycine levels may not always be what they used to be. This decline might seem subtle, but its effects ripple throughout our nervous system. Glycine acts as an inhibitory neurotransmitter, meaning it helps slow things down when the brain is overactive. It binds to specific receptors in the brain and spinal cord, telling the nervous system, in essence, you can relax now. You are safe. This isn't like taking a sedative or a heavy sleep aid that forces your system into unconsciousness. That's not healing. That's not restoration. That's just escape. Glycine does something far more powerful. It restores balance. It invites harmony between mind and body. You're not knocked out, you're let go. Imagine being able to lay your head down and actually feel your mind releasing its grip. That's not just sleep. That's grace. One of the most common obstacles to restful sleep is overactivity in the sympathetic nervous system, the part of us responsible for fight or flight. It's great when we're in danger, but it becomes destructive when it won't shut off. Chronic stress, trauma, emotional wounds, all of these can cause this system to remain active long after the threat is gone. It's why some people feel tired but wired. Their bodies are begging for sleep, but their brains are on high alert. Glycine helps switch off this alarm. It gently tilts the scale back in favor of the parasympathetic system, what we call rest and digest. It doesn't numb your mind. It reminds it that safety is here now in this moment. What's even more extraordinary is that glycine doesn't do this with force. It doesn't hijack your brain. Instead, it works with your body's natural rhythms. It enhances what is already innately yours, the ability to heal, to sleep, to return to stillness. That's why so many who try glycine for sleep don't just notice that they fall asleep faster. They also notice they feel better emotionally. The night becomes less about surviving the hours and more about embracing restoration. And when the night heals, the day becomes something beautiful again. Can you remember a time, perhaps long ago, when you fell asleep easily, when your mind was quiet, your heart was calm, and you drifted into rest with ease? That version of you is not gone. That version is still inside, waiting for the right support. Glycine helps bring that version back. not by replacing anything within you, but by supporting what has always been there. There's a kind of sacredness to true sleep, the kind that heals rather than hides. When we sleep well, we process emotions more effectively, we fight inflammation, we improve memory, we even stabilize blood sugar and heart rate. Good sleep is not just rest, it's recovery. And for older adults, recovery is everything. It's how we stay sharp, how we stay mobile, and how we stay alive, not just in body but in spirit. Glycine, by calming the nervous system, opens the door to all of that. And it does so without the side effects or risks of harsh medications. That's not just important, it's empowering. Consider the emotional toll of chronic poor sleep. Wears down your sense of joy. It dims your patience, it clouds your decision-making. But worse, it begins to erode your hope. And hope is the one thing that should never fade, no matter your age. Glycine doesn't just offer better sleep, it offers the possibility of hope returning in the form of clear mornings, lighter moods, and renewed strength. That's why it's more than just an amino acid, it's a gift. Many who've tried glycine describe a shift that feels almost spiritual, not in a mystical sense, but in a deeply human one. To finally sleep, to finally rest, feels like finding something that was stolen long ago. It feels like coming home. Imagine laying down, and instead of bracing yourself for another night of tossing and turning, you smile, knowing that healing is waiting in your dreams. Imagine waking up, and instead of dragging yourself through the morning fog, you rise, clear, grounded, alive. That's what glycine makes possible. And yes, every person is different. Results vary. But when something this gentle, this natural, this deeply in sync with your biology exists, it's worth trying. Because you are worth sleeping well. You are worth healing deeply. You are worth waking up to a life that still has meaning, purpose, and vitality. Do not believe the lie that poor sleep is simply a part of aging. Do not accept that restless nights are your new normal. Aging may change your body, but it does not have to steal your rest. Glycine proves that. Your nervous system may be tired, overworked, and frayed from years of stress, but it still listens. It still responds to love, to nourishment, to support. And glycine, in the right dose and used consistently, can be that support. In a world full of synthetic solutions and quick fixes, glycine is a return to something purer, something rooted in biology, in healing, in rhythm. It is not a miracle pill, it is a helper. But sometimes that's all we need. Someone or something to whisper, "It's okay. You can let go now." So tonight, when the lights go out and your thoughts try to crowd your peace, remember this. There is a molecule that speaks the language of calm. There is a path forward. There is hope. You do not need to force rest. You need only to receive it. And with glycine, perhaps for the first time in a long while, rest will come not as a battle, but as a blessing. One of glycine's most powerful effects is how it helps regulate your core body temperature, a key signal to your brain that it's time to sleep. This is especially critical for older adults, whose natural rhythms may be disrupted. By lowering body temperature slightly, glycine supports deeper REM cycles, the kind of sleep where your body repairs, your memory sharpens, and your heart finds its rhythm again. Sleep is not just the absence of wakefulness. It is a finely orchestrated dance between hormones, body systems, and environmental cues that tell the brain, it's time to let go. And one of the most powerful cues is body temperature. Your core body temperature follows a natural rhythm, warming up during the day to support alertness and productivity, and cooling down at night to prepare you for rest. But as we age, this rhythm can become less precise, less predictable. The signals become fuzzy, and the result is fragmented sleep, early awakenings, and that heavy, unshakable fatigue that no amount of coffee can fix. Glycine steps in like a quiet conductor, gently guiding this biological symphony back into rhythm. It has a unique ability to lower core body temperature by increasing blood flow to the extremities, which acts like a heat release valve. Imagine your body as a river system. Glycine opens the tributaries and lets the warmth flow out from the core, signaling to your brain, the day is done, it's time to repair. This drop in temperature is subtle but vital. It doesn't shock the system, it soothes it. For older adults, this matters more than most people realize. As the body ages, it doesn't respond to temperature cues as efficiently. The internal thermostat can become sluggish, and even minor fluctuations in the sleep environment, too warm, too cold, can sabotage the delicate transition into deep restorative rest. You may have experienced it. You're in bed, your eyes are closed, but your body doesn't surrender. You're tired, but you're not entering that sacred realm of deep sleep where healing happens. That's often because the body's cooling mechanism isn't working the way it used to. Glycine helps restore that mechanism. It doesn't override your biology, it reminds it what to do. And the beauty of it is that this cooling effect doesn't come with side effects or synthetic intervention. You're not being drugged or forced. You're being gently realigned with what your body was always meant to do. And once your core temperature drops into the sleep zone, something beautiful begins to happen. Your brain waves shift, your heart rate slows, your muscles loosen, and you begin to enter the deeper phases of sleep, especially REM, the stage responsible for memory consolidation, emotional processing, and cellular regeneration. REM sleep is not optional. It's not a luxury. It's one of the most critical states of human functioning. When REM sleep is disrupted, which often happens with aging and temperature dysregulation, the brain doesn't fully process emotions, the body doesn't repair tissue efficiently, and the immune system falters. You might fall asleep, but you don't restore. Glycine supports your ability to enter and remain in REM sleep by creating the perfect internal conditions: a stable, slightly cooler core temperature, and a calm, regulated nervous system. And perhaps even more remarkable, glycine does this without the next morning fog that so many sleep aids cause. There's no synthetic hangover, no groggy awakening where you wonder who you are or where you left your energy. Instead, people who take glycine often report waking up feeling lighter, clearer, more emotionally balanced, because they didn't just sleep. They cycled. They went through the full restorative stages of the night and came out on the other side with something we all crave: renewal. There's a certain dignity in waking up feeling whole. For older adults who have spent years battling insomnia, hot flashes, night sweats, or early awakenings, this dignity can feel out of reach. It's not just about comfort. It's about feeling like your body is still yours, still capable, still in tune with the world around you. Glycine helps restore that dignity. It tells your body, you still work, you still heal, you're still powerful. That's no small thing. That's a miracle wrapped in the language of biology. And for those who live in warm climates or deal with room temperatures that aren't ideal, glycine becomes even more valuable. You can't always control your environment, but you can support your body's internal thermostat. Imagine giving your system that extra edge, that gentle nudge that says cool down, relax, drift. You don't have to rely solely on fans or open windows or chilled pillows. Glycine works from the inside out, supporting your natural descent into sleep, regardless of what the world throws at you. What's also fascinating is how this cooling effect ties directly into circadian rhythm, the 24-hour cycle that governs sleep, hormones, and metabolism. When your body temperature doesn't drop at night, your circadian rhythm becomes confused. Cortisol, the stress hormone, may stay elevated. Melatonin production, the hormone that tells your body it's time for sleep, may decrease. This cascade of imbalance can lead to chronic insomnia, weight gain, mood swings, and cognitive decline. But glycine, by initiating the cooling process, helps restore the rhythm. It doesn't just put you to sleep, it resyncs your internal clock. This matters more than ever in a world filled with artificial lights, screens, and stress. Our biology wasn't designed for 24/7 stimulation. We were meant to slow down with the sun, to cool with the night air, to rest in rhythm with the earth. Glycine gives us back that lost alignment. It bridges the gap between our modern chaos and our ancient biology. And for older adults who often feel like their bodies have forgotten how to rest, this can be deeply empowering. You may have felt at some point that good sleep is beyond your reach, that your best nights are behind you, that it's just part of getting older. But that belief is not truth, it's conditioning, it's surrender. And you are not here to surrender. You are here to heal, to rise, to awaken stronger. Sleep is not lost. It has simply been waiting for a signal, for support, for something to light the path home. Glycine is part of that light. So tonight, before bed, when you take your glycine and feel the warmth of the day leave your limbs, remember that something sacred is happening. Your body is listening. Your brain is recalibrating. Your heart is preparing to rest without fear. Let glycine guide you, not as a crutch, but as a compass. Let the cooling sensation signal not just sleep, but trust. Trust in your body's ability to restore. Trust in your brain's ability to dream. Trust in your spirit's ability to rise again. Because healing doesn't just happen in hospitals or under bright lights. Sometimes it happens in the quiet coolness of your bed. As your body slips into rhythm, your mind releases its burdens and your soul remembers what it means to rest. That is the gift of glycine, and you, dear friend, deserve every second of it. Boosting sleep quality is one of the most powerful ways to reclaim your vitality. Yet for many older adults, the pursuit of rest feels like chasing a fading light. Nights are long, filled with tossing and turning, and mornings arrive like unwelcome guests, dragging in a sense of grogginess, confusion, and emotional fog. For some, the solution has been found in sedatives or sleep medications, but those often come with a cost: dependency, dulled cognition, mood swings, or a numbing of the very dreams that once brought peace. But what if sleep didn't have to steal something from you to give you rest? What if there was a way to wake up not just rested, but whole? This is where glycine steps in, not as a drug, not as a suppressant, but as a gentle guide back to the rhythm your body already knows. Glycine is an amino acid your body naturally produces. It plays a role in dozens of essential biological functions, but one of its most overlooked gifts is its ability to improve sleep quality without dragging you into a fog the next day. It doesn't knock you out or silence your consciousness. It harmonizes your biology in such a way that sleep becomes natural, not forced. And in the morning, you don't feel like you're crawling back into life. You rise into it, clear and capable. The difference is more than chemical. It's experiential. You go to sleep feeling supported, not sedated. You wake up feeling replenished, not robbed. That's what makes glycine a breakthrough for older adults. People who need quality rest to support their bones, their hearts, their immune systems, their memory, and most importantly, their spirit. Because let's be honest, fatigue doesn't just live in the body. It creeps into the soul. It steals your joy. It shrinks your hope. It makes you feel older than your years. But glycine offers another way forward. Taken about an hour before bed, glycine initiates a chain reaction in your brain and body that prepares you for sleep from the inside out. It reduces core body temperature, which signals the brain to release melatonin naturally. It enhances parasympathetic nervous system activity, calming your mind and softening your heart rate. It increases serotonin, a neurotransmitter that stabilizes mood, and it reduces nighttime awakenings by balancing glucose metabolism and quieting internal stress signals. But perhaps the most miraculous part is what doesn't happen. Glycine doesn't disrupt REM sleep. In fact, it enhances it. You're not being held in a shallow, artificial version of rest. You're diving into the deep waters where healing, memory consolidation, and emotional regulation occur. This matters deeply for older adults who are more likely to experience fragmented REM cycles, leading to forgetfulness, irritability, and even increased risk of neurodegenerative conditions. Glycine helps restore the full arc of sleep, the descent, the depth, the return. And then comes the morning. You open your eyes and something is different. Your thoughts aren't scattered, your chest doesn't feel heavy. Your emotions feel steady. You might even smile. Not because everything is perfect, but because your body finally did what it was made to do. It recovered. You didn't force yourself to sleep. You were guided. And that makes all the difference. Compare that to what so many people experience with typical sleep medications. You wake up drowsy, dry-mouthed, emotionally flat. You try to push through the fog relying on caffeine or adrenaline, but your system feels like it's been hijacked. That's not rest. That's sedation. And sedation is not healing. It's a pause button on your suffering, not a solution. Glycine isn't about pressing pause. It's about pressing reset. It's about giving your body a chance to clean the slate, organize its inner world, and rise renewed. And when sleep quality improves, everything improves. Your immune system strengthens, your digestion calms, your inflammation lowers, your ability to focus sharpens. And emotionally, you find resilience you thought was lost. You're not reacting from a place of survival. You're responding from a place of clarity. That's the secret gift of glycine. Not just more hours of sleep, but better hours, more restorative, more natural, more aligned with how your biology was always designed to function. And for older adults who have lived through decades of stress, heartbreak, physical wear, and mental load, this kind of reset can feel like a second chance. A chance to live, not just longer, but brighter, with energy, with peace, with purpose. Because aging doesn't have to mean decline, it can mean refinement, it can mean deepening. But to show up for this next chapter of life, whether it's to travel, to mentor, to love more deeply, or to simply enjoy a quiet morning coffee, you need energy. Not borrowed energy from sugar or stimulants. True energy, the kind that comes from deep, uninterrupted sleep. If you've ever felt like your nights are working against you, know this. Your body hasn't failed. It's just been missing the signals. And glycine is one of those gentle messengers, whispering to your cells, it's time to heal. It's time to rest. And when that message is heard, everything changes. You start remembering names again. You laugh more easily. You're less reactive and more reflective. You have the stamina to take that walk, visit that friend, start that hobby you've been putting off. And slowly, subtly, life starts to feel like it fits again. Not because you've found a miracle cure, but because your body is finally receiving what it needs at night to serve you during the day. Glycine is not about escape. It's about return. Return to balance. Return to clarity. Return to joy. So, tonight as you wind down, ask yourself, what kind of sleep do you want? One that masks your exhaustion, or one that transforms it? One that sedates your body, or one that restores your soul? Glycine offers the second path, a path of peace, not numbness, a path that invites you back into the rhythm of life. One breath, one dream, one clear morning at a time. Because better sleep isn't just about how you feel at night. It's about how you show up in the world tomorrow. And you deserve to show up fully, alive, clear, strong, connected. That's not just the promise of glycine. That's the promise of you. You are worthy of rest. You are worthy of restoration. Every sleepless night you've endured was not in vain. It brought you here, to this moment of change. It's never too late to reclaim your nights and reawaken your days. Glycine may be the missing piece, but you are the miracle. Subscribe now to join a community that believes in healing, hope, and the science of thriving. And if you have questions or need guidance on your journey, ask me in the comments. I'll be right there with you.